Howdy fellow adventurers, backwaters and backroads here obviously. Today we're working on the barge, a new Beagle Barge Beagle Build video for you. Got the Beagle right there, you can see her, there she is. Railing and siding. So how about if I just get to it and show you, and stay tuned. Well, it's a hot one today. Wavey's panting. Are you panting, little dog? I have not liked this siding ever since I bought the boat. It's vinyl siding that you'll see on any suburban house, and I've always felt like it just looks like grandma's house or something. It just takes away from the aesthetic of what I would consider to be a shanty boat. So I am finally ripping it off, and I'm going to replace it with, you guessed it, tongue and groove cedar, just like on the inside, and just like what the original Shanty Beagle had too. So I might have to figure out a couple things around the windows, you know, so they don't leak, because, well, maybe I'll just show you as I go, but you know, we got these stringers here or something, and I'll have to come up with something on that. But luckily I've got pretty decent overhangs, and I've got gutters, which has probably kept this boat intact for going on 40 years now, in really good shape. So all the wood's in good shape. There's no rot that I've ever found. So I'll just get to it and show you as I go. We got her all torn off. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. And now I'm going to clean it up with a broom, because there is a lot of mud daubers and dirt and stuff underneath it. But overall, it's in really good shape. And I left these, they have a name, channel, I guess, window channel. Left them on the windows, and I might be able to use them still. I got her all cleaned up, and now I'm going to hammer down some of these nails. It looks like there's been a little bit of water intrusion right here at the bottom of these back windows. I can see a little bit, so I don't know if you guys got any ideas. There's some right there. There's some rot right there, actually. Guys have ideas, put comments below always, please. You know, this makes me very appreciative that this boat was built up as much as it was when I bought it. You know, I didn't have to build this cabin. Someone did it. I wish I knew. If you ever come across this video, please contact me. I always put my email in the description. Someone in Louisiana, you know, built a cabin boat and did a really good job. And I couldn't have done this. So, I mean, it would have taken me longer than what you're even seeing me try to improve it and renovate it, you know. So yeah, I'm just very happy as I get into it that I can tell it was built pretty darn good. And I think we're only improving it by what we're doing to it now. I'm just reminding you what's inside here. So tongue and groove cedar, and the insulation behind it, and then there's particle board on the outside, and then I'm going to do tongue and groove cedar on the outside also. If it doesn't work, I can always pull it back off and replace it with something else. Setting up my little workstation. Gotta go get the generator gotta go get the generator started. Hopefully it'll start. Checking in with you here. So that's what I have so far. I decided to pull out the channels around well, I left the ones on the end, and I'm tucking the cedar behind it, and it's flush with the already existing trim. So now, no matter how, you know, I'm having to rip these. I don't have a table saw, so I'm doing the best I can with a skill saw. There's going to be some gap here under the windows. I guess I'm going to fill that in with caulking. But again, you know, for those folks that watch my channel that know a lot about building, you know, Roy up in Canada, for example, but I don't know there's others, you know, what would you do to fill in that crack? Is caulking the right way to do it? You know, so, okay, I'm going to keep going. Well, good morning, fellow adventurers. Siding the Beagle Barge is turning into quite the learning experience. I'll just call it that. Pulled the vinyl siding off, as you've seen, and there's just particle board underneath it. Now this cabin has lasted for upwards to 40 years, so they must have done something right. I think it has a lot to do with the roof overhang and how it probably sheds water. It might have something to do with the way the boat was stored over the years, not really used that much. You know, it could be a lot of things. But what I've been doing is sending texts and making calls to people that I value their opinion. Not all of them, because there's more of you out there that I haven't burdened yet. I might, so you know, beware, watch your phone. But a couple of them have been giving me some really good advice. And one of them is putting some kind of layer underneath. You know, this is all very common sense. Now you got to remember, I'm not a good builder at all, and that's one of the reasons to watch this my channel, is that if I can do it, you can do it. I guarantee it. You can see all the mosquitoes around here. And so I pulled off the little bit of siding that I did. I'm going cedar tongue and groove just because I have so much of it already. That I had some other ideas. I thought about going with lap or maybe tin or something, but for now I'm going to try the cedar tongue groove like you see on the inside of the boat. And I took it back off, and I'm putting a layer of felt, like roofing felt, underneath it. It was recommended by a buddy of mine to put some ice, what do they call it? Water, ice and shield, I think is what they call it, which is thicker, sticks to the side. You can look it up. I went and looked it up briefly. I think I'm just going to stick with the felt for now, just because I have a couple rolls of it, and I'm still trying to stay on a budget on this, guys. I said, guys, sorry. And I'm also, something different I just kind of decided to do is I'm going to do vertical as opposed to horizontal tongue groove siding. I'm going to see how that looks. You know, why not? In my head, it makes a difference. Maybe keeping the water out, but who knows? So, stick with me. Let's just do this, and let's see how it turns out. I mean, I can always pull it back off. At the end, the vinyl was getting the job done, obviously, but it's just so ugly. To me, it just looked like grandma's house in the suburbs. It's not what a shanty boat looks like to me. So, without further ado, let's get on with it. Stay tuned. Okay, so I have to fix something here. This is all common sense once it's pointed out to me, but this flap needs to go underneath this. And same with this one. This needs to go over this, you know, just continue to shed water. Yeah, I don't know. I bet you folks that watch my channel that really know what they're doing, they're just constantly pulling their hair out like, ah. But, you know, everyone's got to start somewhere. I didn't grow up, you know, doing this kind of stuff, you know, and that's when it really takes root. So it's better late than never. So let's see how it turns out, guys. So let me point something out to you here. I don't have a table saw. All I have is a chop saw and a skill saw. And I have to make a piece of siding that's the width. You're always going to run up against this no matter what you're doing with siding. I'm discovering, whether it's at home or on a boat or whatever, you know, if you get lucky, sometimes, you know, just the width works, but I'm gonna have to make a really thin strip right here to go up the wall. It's like just under 2.5 inches. Now, a table saw would be the easy way to do this to keep the line straight, but what I did is I used a straight edge. I came on both sides, I measured really carefully, and then I used the straightest 2x4 that I have, that I, you know, visually I can't really verify that, and I just made the line, and I came back and I've measured it to make sure it's staying a consistent 2.5 inches, and we'll see how this turns out. I mean, you just gotta improvise sometimes, you know. All right, checking in. What do you guys think? Going vertical is a lot easier. I'm able to, the only one I had to cut long ways was this one so far. Well, and a little one up there just to match up to the window framing, but yeah, this is going really good. I'm glad that I stopped and rethought this and did it halfway right. This week has been perfect weather to be working on stuff like this. And there's always that battle. perfect weather, let's go have an adventure. And then perfect weather, let's get something done before it starts raining again or snowing. But today we got to finish this. You know, could you imagine me floating around all next winter down south with half the siding done? So stupid. So let's keep on. Beagle Barge Beagle Build, Cedar tongue and groove siding. As I finish up the side, I'll start to explain to you how I got to choosing this. There was a couple other ways I could have went. I consulted some people smarter than me, better builders, which is almost everybody. So, okay, stay tuned. Okay, so I'm gonna take a moment here and show you, try to explain something for those that might not know this. I didn't know this. I've been kind of figuring it out as I go here. So, if you start on, like on this side, I started on the front. And I have been putting tongue and groove boards in. And what happens is any sort of deviation from straight or parallel will build up unless you adjust it as you go, if that makes sense. So you have to kind of compensate for it. Like there's really no such thing as a perfectly straight board. So it might bow in the middle, it might go this way. If you see one that's really drastic, just skip it. I have a pile over there of ones that I'll use for something else because you want to start out as straight as you can. But ultimately, you know, you're going to have these cracks, and they will start to build up. But you know, in this particular side, they build up until they hit the window, and then you know I can go with smaller pieces over the top and bottom of the window, right? Well, on this one, somewhere I can probably, you know, figure out where I started to get a board that had just enough bow that actually went like this, and it just kept accumulating, and I wasn't compensating for it on the last boards going this direction. And so ultimately I said all that to show you that I had to also rip, you know, kind of like I don't have a table saw, so I have to use my skill saw and just do the best I can. But I had to rip this one because, you know, it's too short, right? It has to go into this channel, and it left, and it fits perfectly down here. It fits up there, but it bows. This one bows a little bit this way, and it leaves, you know, a crack. Now, the fact that it's on the back side and the boat, all boats, you know, tend to lean backwards a little bit, kind of sit in the water like this, a little bit lower in the back. And that means water, you know, will probably, you know, always be going that direction, and that's a bad spot to have a crack. So I'm going to have to caulk that really good. I could pull this last full-size board off and try to find one that doesn't have any sort of bow in it and try to rematch it up, but I'm not going to do that because I just have, you know, I have to do the other side. I'm going to start on the other side soon, so I'm just going to caulk it really good. I'll keep an eye on it. But yeah, those are all, you know, that's just one of many of the considerations that you have to, you know, pay attention to when you're doing stuff like this. It also gives you an appreciation for people that are really good at it. You know, the people that build houses for a living, build boats for a living, you know, they just know this stuff. It's just instinctual. They've done it so much. It just becomes like an art, and those people deserve to get paid well, you know, when you hire them. That's just the truth. So, but okay, I hope that was worthwhile to mention. And now I'm going to finish nailing up that back end there, and then I'm going to move some stuff around. I'm going to turn the boat around because I want to continue to work on this side. So I'm going to hook the truck up and turn it around and put the nose down there so I can work on the other side on this side. So let's take a break from working on the barge and come out and fish for the last hour or so before sunset. See if we can get some fish on the menu. I'm always trying. I gotta be one of the worst fishermen on YouTube. We'll see what happens. We got one in the boat. That is a lake trout, guys. And for those that don't know, how I know. It's just a really obvious lake trout. Its markings are all lake trout. I'm gonna conk them in the head. It's gonna be really tasty. Good eater size, about 2 pounds. Going for one more before that sun goes down. I don't think I've ever seen the marker light turn on before. Look at that. I wonder if they just added that. Or maybe I just haven't been out here in a while. Right at dusk. Alright, I guess I'll pull the lines in. Got one fish. This side seems to be going on pretty good. The weather keeps holding. It hasn't rained in a long time, which is good. It's even when you have outside projects like this and it's a string of days not raining, you got to get on them, I guess. That's my thinking. I'd rather be out fishing right now, or riding a motorcycle or something, but this has to get done. So let's get her done. Got the starboard side done. I'm gonna take a break. I just cleaned up all the tools. I've got to go somewhere this weekend. I'm gonna head to Minnesota, and I've got a guest coming. I'll introduce you to him next week, next video. Really good friend of mine, Logan. Hi, Logan. He watches my videos. Still more to do, of course. Got to do some caulking. Probably gonna stain it. Maybe some trim work. I'm gonna do a little more research, but you know, that's the gist of it, so tell me what you think. Well, we're gonna go out and enjoy the rest of the day. Get out on the lake, go find a nice beach somewhere and take a nice bath and maybe have a beer or two and look for stuff. So load up. Up, let's go. Don't sandbag it, Beagle. Go, load up. Go, load up. Load up. Squid, squid. Squid, squid.